You know, it's kind of wild when you think about it. We learn math, we learn history, but why doesn't anyone teach us how to actually manage our own minds? Well, today, we're going to change that. We're diving into the brilliant, super practical insights from Dr. Julie Smith's book, Why Has Nobody Told Me This Before? And together, we're going to build a mental health toolkit you can start using, like, right now.
So, this is the question that really started it all. It's what Dr. Smith kept hearing from her clients over and over. It's that aha moment, right? When you learn something so simple, so life-changing about your own brain, and you just think, why isn't this common knowledge? It's like we've all been walking around without the user manual for our own minds.
Okay, first things first, let's just bust a huge myth right out of the gate. Good mental health is not about feeling happy and perfect 24/7. I mean, come on, that's impossible. Life is messy, it's full of challenges, and our emotions are always going to change. The goal isn't to stop the storm from coming, it's about learning how to be a better sailor when it hits.
And that's where this fantastic idea comes in. Think about it like this. You'd go to a gym to build up your physical strength, right? Well, it's the exact same idea for your mind. You can learn skills, you can collect tools, and you can build up your mental resilience and your well-being. This isn't about fixing something that's broken, it's about investing in yourself.
So before we can start using our shiny new tools, we really need to understand what we're working with. So let's take a look at some of the really common, automatic little traps our minds can fall into. Our brains are absolutely incredible, but they're wired with these little shortcuts, these biases. And hey, it's not a personal flaw. It's just part of the standard human operating system. The problem is, when we're feeling down, these patterns can turn into traps that totally warp how we see reality.
One of the biggest, most common traps is this one, the mental filter. Just imagine you're wearing a pair of sunglasses that literally only lets you see the negative stuff. You zoom in on the one tiny thing that went wrong, and all the good stuff, it just gets blurry or totally disappears.
And this just nails it, doesn't it? You post something, you get 50 comments. 49 of them are amazing, supportive, just lovely. But there's one that's kind of critical. So which one do you end up thinking about all day? Yeah, if you're like most of us, it's that one negative one. That right there is the mental filter doing its thing.
All right, so now that we know how to spot the trap, what's the first tool we can pull out of the box to get ourselves out? Well, it is all about gaining a little perspective.
Now, this right here is a total game changer. Listen close. You aren't your thoughts. Your thoughts are not facts. They're just events happening inside your head, kind of like clouds passing in the sky. And when you really get that, it's so powerful because it means you can learn to take a step back and just watch your thoughts without getting totally swept away by them.
Oh, I just love this analogy from the book. Think about it. When that mask is on Jim Carrey's face, it takes him over. He is the mask. But the second he pulls it off, holds it at arm's length, he can see it for what it is. Just a thing. It's not him. That tiny bit of distance changes everything. And we can learn to do that with our own thoughts.
And here's exactly how to do it. It's a really simple 3-step practice. First, just notice the thought. That's it. Step 2, give it a label. So instead of I am a failure, you rephrase it as I'm having the thought that I am a failure. See that little gap you just created? And finally, step 3, get curious. That's an interesting thought. I wonder where it came from. You go from being a prisoner to being a detector.
Okay, on to our second tool, and this one tackles something we all struggle with, the myth of motivation. This is for anyone who has ever sat there waiting to feel like it before doing something they know they should do. I mean, we've all been there, right? You're staring at your running shoes or at that big project or at the phone you need to call and you're just waiting for that magical zap of motivation to strike. Well, what if I told you we've got it completely backwards?
So why do we get stuck waiting? Well, there are two big reasons. On the one hand, you've got good old procrastination. That's when we avoid something because, frankly, it feels stressful or just plain uncomfortable. Then you have anhedonia, which is a real loss of pleasure in things, and it's often tied to a low mood. But here's the key. In both cases, waiting for motivation is the trap that keeps us stuck.
This is it. This is the absolute core idea. Motivation is not the spark that starts the engine. Action is the spark. Motivation is the result of taking action, not the cause. That energy, that desire, that feeling like it, all of that good stuff comes after you start, even if you just start in the smallest possible way. And here's a really cool way to make this idea stick. Imagine your brain is a dense jungle. The very first time you do something new, it's like you have to hack your way through all this thick undergrowth. It's hard work. But every single time you take that same path, you wear it down a little more. It gets wider,
smoother, easier to walk, until eventually it's the default path. It becomes a habit.
So we've got tools to manage our thoughts and tools to get ourselves to take action. But what for? What's the end game here? This last section ties it all together by focusing on what truly matters, meaning.
Dr. Smith makes this brilliant point that chasing happiness is actually a trap. It's an emotion, and emotions come and go. A much stronger, more fulfilling goal is to build a life that's aligned with your core values, to do things that actually matter to you. That's what creates a real, lasting sense of purpose.
And to help you do that, here is an amazing, practical tool from the book. It's called the Value Star, and it's basically a simple way to get a quick bird's-eye view of your own life, so you can see in an instant which parts feel aligned with your values and which parts might need a little more love.
And it is so beautifully simple. You just label each point of the star with an area of your life that's important to you. Things like health, relationships, work, whatever it is for you. Then, on a scale from 0 to 10, you mark how close you feel you're living to that value right now. You connect the dots, and bam, you see the shape of your star. The shorter points instantly show you where you might want to focus your energy.
Which brings us right here to our final and most powerful question. You don't need some huge, grand plan. Just look at your life, think about your values. What's one small thing, one tiny, totally manageable action you can take today to move just 1% closer to the life you actually want to be living?